of a cat biting can seem like a profound betrayal. One moment, there's a soft, purring creature in your lap, the picture of contentment. The next, teeth are clamped on your hand. This sudden switch from affection to aggression is one of the most misunderstood feline behaviors. It's rarely an act of malice. Instead, a cat's bite is a form of communication, a complex signal rooted deeply in its instincts as a predator, a prey animal, and a solitary hunter.
To really understand the bite, it helps to start in the nursery with a litter of kittens. From a very young age, kittens play by wrestling, pouncing, and biting each other. This isn't just fun, it's a critical part of their education. Through this play fighting, they learn one of the most important lessons of their lives: bite inhibition. When one kitten bites a littermate too hard, the victim yelps and stops playing. The aggressor is startled and learns that if it wants the fun to continue, it has to moderate the pressure of its jaw. Their mother often steps in as well, correcting overly rough play with a swat or a hiss. This process calibrates their bite, teaching them the difference between a playful nip and a painful wound.
This is why cats who were separated from their mother and litter mates too early, often called single kittens, can have issues with biting. They never got that crucial peer-to-peer feedback. They don't necessarily mean to hurt, they just never learned how much pressure is too much. When humans then use their hands and fingers as toys, they are inadvertently reinforcing this behavior. To a kitten, a wiggling finger looks an awful lot like a wriggling mouse. Pouncing on it and biting it is pure instinct. If the person yelps but then continues the game, the cat learns that biting hands is an acceptable form of play. The solution, which behaviorists always stress, is to redirect that play instinct onto an appropriate object, like a feather wand or a toy mouse. The rule is simple: toys are for biting, hands are for gentle petting. Of course, not all bites are related to play. Perhaps the most baffling type is what's often called the love bite. This is when a cat that seems to be enjoying being petted suddenly turns and nips. This isn't a sign of affection, but rather the opposite. It's a signal of overstimulation. A cat's skin is incredibly sensitive. Each hair follicle is connected to a complex network of nerves. Gentle, repetitive stroking can feel good for a while, but eventually that pleasant sensation can cross a threshold and become irritating or overwhelming. It's like a light tickle that at first is amusing, but then becomes unbearable. Cats are masters of subtle communication, and they almost always give warnings before this type of bite occurs. A person just needs to learn how to read them. The tail is often the first indicator. A gently swishing tail might become a sharp, rhythmic thumping. The cat's ears might flatten or swivel back. The pupils might dilate. One might even see a slight rippling or twitching of the skin along the cat's back. These are all signs of growing arousal and agitation. They are the cat's way of saying, "I'm reaching my limit." When these subtle signals are ignored, the cat has to escalate its message. The nip is a louder, clearer way of saying, "Stop now." It's not an attack, it's a desperate request for personal space.
This connects to the fundamental nature of the cat. Unlike dogs, which evolved as pack animals with complex social hierarchies and a need for constant social interaction, the domestic cat's ancestor, the African wildcat, is a largely solitary creature. They come together to mate, but they hunt and live alone. This means their social etiquette is different. They control the terms of engagement. A cat will often solicit affection, but on its own terms and for a duration of its choosing. The overstimulation bite is, in many ways, the cat reasserting its autonomy and ending the interaction when it decides it's over.
Then there is biting that stems from fear. A fearful cat is a defensive cat. This is an entirely different emotional state from play or overstimulation. A bite delivered in fear is a last resort. The cat's primary instinct when threatened is to escape. This is the flight part of the fight or flight response. it will try to run and hide. It's only when cornered, with no perceived escape route, that it will switch to fight. This type of bite is often preceded by much more dramatic signals: deep growling, hissing, spitting, flattened ears, and a crouched body posture. The bite itself is often swift and severe because its purpose is to create an opportunity for escape. Common triggers for fear-based biting include being startled by a loud noise, being handled roughly or picked up against its will, or being cornered by a person, especially a small child who doesn't understand animal body language. From the cat's perspective, it's fighting for its life. It's not personal, it's pure survival instinct. A fascinating and often misdiagnosed reason for biting is redirected aggression. This occurs when a cat is intensely stimulated by something it cannot get to. The classic example is a cat sitting at a window watching another cat or a squirrel in its territory. Its prey drive kicks in, and it becomes highly aroused, frustrated, and ready to attack. Its body is flooded with adrenaline. Then an unsuspecting person walks by and strokes the cat. All of that pent-up aggressive energy, with no access to its original target, is immediately redirected to the nearest available thing, the person's hand or leg. The owner is left completely confused, as the bite seems to have come from nowhere. But in the cat's mind, it was already in a state of high alert. The touch simply acted as a trigger, releasing the coiled spring of aggression. This isn't a conscious decision to attack the owner. It's an almost involuntary reflex, a misfiring of a powerful instinct. Understanding this requires seeing the world from the cat's point of view and recognizing what might have been happening in the moments leading up to the incident. It's also crucial to consider a physical cause for biting. A sudden change in a cat's behavior, especially in an older cat that was never prone to biting, can be a red flag for a medical problem. Pain is a powerful motivator. If a cat has an arthritic joint, dental disease, or an undetected injury, being touched in that sensitive area can cause a sharp, painful response. The bite is a reflex to stop the source of the pain. A cat that suddenly objects to being picked up might have abdominal pain. A cat that hisses when its head is touched could be suffering from a bad tooth or an ear infection. This is why any abrupt onset of aggressive biting warrants a trip to the veterinarian. The cat isn't trying to be mean, it's trying to communicate its physical suffering in the only way it knows how. The social dynamics of the cat also play a role in what is sometimes called status-related aggression. This is less about fear or pain and more about control and territory. A cat might bite to enforce social rules as it understands them. For example, a cat might block a doorway and bite at the ankles of anyone who tries to pass. It might bite to stop a person from getting up from a chair it has claimed. This is often an attempt by the cat to establish dominance or control its environment and the people in it. It's a declaration that certain resources, a favorite sleeping spot, a pathway, or even the person's attention, are under its jurisdiction. Underneath all of these reasons is the cat's physical equipment. A cat's mouth is a toolkit designed by millennia of evolution. The long, sharp canine teeth are for piercing and gripping prey. The smaller incisors are for plucking feathers or fur, and the shearing carnassial teeth in the back are for slicing through meat. When a cat bites a human, it is using a weapon designed for a very different purpose. A deep puncture wound from a canine tooth can be particularly dangerous because it injects bacteria deep into the tissue, where it can be sealed over and lead to a serious infection. This isn't due to any particular venom, but simply the nature of the wound and the bacteria present in any animal's mouth. Ultimately, a cat's bite is a message. It might be saying, "I want to play," "I've had enough," "I'm terrified," "I'm frustrated," or "I'm in pain." The challenge for any cat owner is to learn to interpret this message, and more importantly, to recognize the quieter signals that come before it. By providing appropriate outlets for play, respecting a cat's boundaries, ensuring it feels safe, and paying close attention to its physical health, the need for this kind of forceful communication can be greatly reduced. A bite is not the beginning of the conversation. It is almost always the end of one after all the subtler attempts have failed.